Welcome back to the third and final segment of the Loveland Report and Lone Ranger Show. We've been talking about spring selling. We've been talking about 4.99% mortgages. Yeah. And we've been talking about we're going to talk about negotiations and knowing the agent this segment. I got one more listing I want to talk about. I've got 1 acre of land in Mount Dora. This is the Orange County side along the county line of Mount Dora. 558,000, 2,400 square feet, 1.1 acres. Wow. For 2.5. And everybody in this neighborhood, Bruce, they've all got room.
How much is that house?
That house is 557, 558, and all renovated.
It's inside. 4-bedroom, all one floor,
ranch style, 1 acre. And you know what everybody's got in this neighborhood? But extra building out back. They got the workshop. They got the man cave. You can do that in this neighborhood. Greater Country Estates.
Maybe we should get Camille and my client to see that one. That way,
yeah. Got that, and it's just. I think right now is a great time to buy in spring, and also
spring buying is the most popular right now. So everybody, and I don't know if does it get a lot busier for us in Florida? Is it mostly it's spring buying because we see a lot of northerners now?
I think most what drives it is the snowbirds don't drive our business. They are a small fraction of it. I think what drives our business is the kids being out of school, and parents think that moving during that time of year is okay. And which actually is the studies say is you're better off to move them during the year. They're less distracted and they get right back to normal life.
Right.
So, yeah. Anyway, you can tell I'm not a father.
That's okay, Cleve.
It's, I think right now we are good. These 6% rates, Bruce, they're here. I think we're almost done with the first quarter. Yep. And we're not going to, I don't think we're going to see 5.25 this year.
It's interesting that you say that because it's really difficult to tell. Nobody knows, but I will tell you that you can't get greedy. And people that saw these 3% and 2% interest rates, I think it skewed their mind and they think that is more of a normal. 7.5% is your normal. 7.5%. So if you're seeing 6%, you're way under normal. And people that hesitate are the foolish ones because the opportunities are there and they're skewed by it because they're like, I'm going to rent them. If it doesn't hit 4 3/4, I got people right now that have 6.99 rate. They want to refinance. I could get them 5.5 on a VA loan, 5 1/4, even 5 1/4 in some cases. And they went, I'm going to hold off a little longer. Guess what? It went up. And now instead of you saving $160, $200 a month, you now can't save that money. Go cut your nose off to spite your face.
I think you're in the trenches every day watching these rates, and we're probably going to be here for a bit. And then when the bombs stop falling and hopefully things settle down in a couple of weeks, I think things will recover, but who knows what else is going to happen with the economy.
There's a lot of things that can happen with the economy, and a lot of things are happening with the economy on a day-to-day basis. So one of the things that the Lone Ranger does for you is he watches the market like a hawk. So for instance, right now, I am seeing since February 27th, interest rates were the very best they'd been in a long time on February 27th. Since then, we've lost 90 basis points on the bond market. Now, let me just put that in perspective so you understand what that means. That means it cost you about $900 more out of pocket for each $100,000 you want to borrow. Now, that's not in payment. But if you don't, like you're buying a $400,000 house, it just cost you almost $4,000 more in closing costs to get the same rate, $4,000 more to get the same rate. So what do? You go up a 1/4 point in rate. So you offset that extra 90 basis points. Now, Trump's got the oil flowing again or trying to get it flowing again. Once that moves, I think we'll recover from that and you can get back into where rates were on the 27th of February.
Right. I want to talk about knowing the other agent in the transaction. And when I've got a listing and an agent sends me an offer, I'll call them before I even talk to my sellers about it. Get the details of the offer.
Sure.
I get the highlights. If they're good, they've sent me the highlights and a little letter there. I'll call them and ask them some more questions. How long have you been looking? What other homes have you made offers on? How motivated are they to get into this house? And what's funny is some agents will wonder, why am I asking these things? But their lack of answer on some things tells me I'm dealing with a rookie or I'm dealing with somebody experienced. Usually the experienced agents, Bruce, I get a solid offer. I got one last week. Great agent, wrote me an offer right at full price on a listing. They asked for 3% in closing costs. We came back at 2%, or we would go up over the price a couple $1,000. She talked to her buyers. They took the 2%. They are ready to go. Easy. Everything's done. Very reasonable offer. Those buyers stole that house. I had 2 other realtors call me the next day after it went pending saying, oh my gosh, we were about to write on that. So
Not quick enough.
When you do things right, but when I'm looking for the information from the other agent, have they sold their home? Do they have their loan all set? Is this their lender or your lender? I don't take a loan from the teacher's credit union of Manitoba.
No,
I don't want any non-local lenders. I don't take the big banks. They're horrible. They can't close
They are
deals,
horrible.
save their lives.
Tell our clients why you don't like big banks when clients go to
There's
them.
no response. They never close on time, and there's no response. You cannot, literally, you're calling a call center, maybe in this country, may not, and you cannot get a direct answer. And even if I can reach the loan rep and I say, can you close this in 30 business days? I still get silence on the phone because they don't know. Either they are not educated, they are not trained, or they're new to the job, or they are
How
just
important
totally.
is it that you're able to reach a lender during the week or even after hours?
I just had one that because their lender was subpar and they cost us 30 days on a contract because they had not answered questions properly and their lender had not done their work. I charged them $5,000 in this property and told them they're going to lose it or else your buyer's going to pay $5,000.
So they missed the closing.
Missed the closing, asked for another 30 days. I said,
30 days.
so I said, that's going to cost us X amount of dollars. And because you're an idiot, we're going to ask for more money. And the buyer wants the property. And the sad part was that buyer chose that lender. I'm like, that's their choice. They made that uneducated decision and they cost my seller money. I refused other offers because their offer was the better one, but I can't judge another lender. I know you will get things done. And I always say, hey, call Bruce. He's great. I'm sure he can take better care of you than these people. And they're like, oh no, this is great. We know these.
Well, sometimes they've talked to a lender that's going to hide things from the listing agent.
This is the bait and switch.
This is what I will not do. Listen, you got to be honest about your situation. If there is a contingency and you hide it, you are in jeopardy of losing your escrow deposit, and you should, because you physically lied in a contractual obligation. So you've got to be upfront and you've got to be honest with people. There's ways to get through these. I wouldn't do the volume of the business I do if I didn't have great rates and get loans closed on time. And here's something. I over communicate with my agents and my clients so they don't have to wonder what's going on. I don't like phone calls going, hey, I hadn't heard from anybody. What's happening with my loan? That means that I drop the ball if that happens. I don't like that.
Call us first. Bruce, your number?
407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com.
Loveland Properties, 407-352-8118. I'll be working all weekend.
Yeah. So there's a lot of other things that we've found that's happening right now in the market that has really caused people maybe a little bit of anxiety or hesitation from getting into the market. And one of them would be rates. One of them some people think that housing is going to go down in value again. So I want to give you guys a reality check. We are really poised to see between 1.6 and 4% appreciation in our communities, 1.6 to 4%. Now, you've had the last 3 years that we've been telling you to buy because the market was flat and houses even settled by about 1.5 to 2%, some even more than that. They dropped in price. That does not mean they dropped in value. They were overpriced and they came down to a real price.
Also, if you owned that house, you didn't technically lose that money if the house just stayed the same value or when they were sold for $10,000 less than you bought for because they had to sell right now. And also, you paid your mortgage down. You didn't spend $40,000 in rent.
But when housing is flat, that's a buying opportunity. Your buying opportunity is when other people aren't buying. They're afraid. You know what Warren Buffett says? Be fearful when others are greedy, but be greedy when others are fearful. So if the market is fearful, so ask yourself right now, is the market a little fearful still?
Oh, yeah.
It is. Okay. After the recession in 2008, was the market fearful?
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. So now let's go back. After 2008,
best time to buy in the next 3 years.
if you wouldn't have been fearful, you would have made just a ton of
If
money.
you would have bought one house each year in 2009, 10, and 11, you'd be sitting on over $1 million.
But the average human being is so struck by that they become polarized and they wonder why other people make the money. They think they're lucky, but they're actually not lucky. They're smart. They just know that if you're fearful, that's a sign I should be looking at something right now.
Yep. Closing on another rental next month.
So Cleve and I don't just talk the talk. We do walk the walk. We look and we buy properties on a regular basis. Cleve's even done some flips lately. His wife's been involved in helping him in the decorating. We should do our own reality show maybe with you and your wife. Yeah, that might be a great idea. The three of us getting out there and buying houses.
Really have.
I don't think anybody watch it.
A lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
I mean, my business, wife helps on redesigning the flips, and I have a plan B. If I don't make a profit on them, they're going to be rentals.
Absolutely.
And I will cash flow. And that's what you don't see on these reality shows where,
well, they also underestimate the cost of doing
rehab. They always do that. There's always drama, and they lie about what they actually spend on the property, and they lie about their profit. Or they just don't talk about the profit at all. Yeah. They just show you the drama because Bob forgot to show up today and bring.
So let's do a quick recap. We covered your listings, got great listings. Interest rates have gone up a little bit since we started bombing, but they're starting to come back down. Oil prices hit $137 per barrel, now down under 90. Oil starting to flow. Interest rates should come back. There's plenty of houses on the market. Sellers are still willing to make deals, but as buyers start to enter the market more frequently, sellers will be less likely to negotiate and pay closing costs.
I have numbers next week. I'll have numbers on the sales, numbers on the inventory. I'll have that report from the Board of Realtors. And I just think this year is going to be better than 25, which was better than 24.
It's already better.
So it's getting better. If you need any kind of real estate plan, call me, Central Florida's best real estate planner, 407-352-8118 or cleveloveland.com.
Yeah, or the Loan Arranger at 407-250-9144. We did cover a lot. And we covered these 4.99% interest rates that you see out there. So folks, don't be fooled because there's always something to it. But can you get a 4.99? Yes, you can. There are ways to do that. Now, it takes strategy and it takes a real estate agent to negotiate that. It takes a lender that knows how to do it. And that's why you call Cleve and I, because we will help you negotiate that. But not every deal can you go out there and say, hey, the house has been on the market for 2 days and it's on the market for $550. We're going to offer you $400 and we want 6% in closing costs. It's not going to happen, folks.
Nope.
But if you get that house that's been on the market for a few days, you may have an opportunity to get a better deal. Bruce Woodburn, Cross Country Mortgage, the Loan Arranger, 407-250-9144, or Cleve Loveland, the voice of real estate, 407-352-8118. Have a great weekend. God bless you. Thanks for listening to the show.